on health. As usual, every Sunday we meet and we talk about health. We talk about how we can live a longer, healthier life. And today we are discussing a very exciting topic about the health of our children. And we have a great speaker who is going to take us through it. This is a lady, a very well-seasoned lady in our industry, in our company. And she's a lady who has empowered so many people as far as health, as far as business is concerned. And she's one of our top distributors in the company. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Gladys Njura to actually take us through the session of today.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fred. For everyone on the call, good Sunday. This is a good day that the Lord has given us. And I thank God that I'll be taking you through this program because it's something that has really benefited me as a person, one as a person, one as a parent, and another one even as a business person, because I have been able to share this information with very many young people, and the parents, and they have benefited. And so I believe that this is a very good topic for all of us. Above that is that we have children, and right now they are at home. Our children are at home, and we love them very much. And as parents, we really invest a lot in our children. And when we do invest in many things, we pay a lot of school fees. We spend a lot of money on our children, a lot of money, but also on the area of, when we talk about health, we need to ask a big question. Are we setting up a good foundation for our children when it comes to nutrition? The reason being, we owe it to ourselves that we have a healthy generation, not just a rich generation. We really want to have a healthy generation. Reason being, if we ignore that sector and we leave it to the teachers and the government, remember, that generation is tied to you and your legacy. So the question will be, how did you leave that area in terms of the legacy of the health of your children? So even as we begin this topic, we need to know that very many degenerative diseases are on the rise. And these diseases are really hurting even our own children. And they'll hurt them in two ways. One is if we ourselves are not healthy, our children get affected. If our children are not healthy, they themselves hurt and we hurt. And then finally, if we leave a generation that does not understand about health and wellness, then that means even in the future, even if you're dead, you will have left a generation that you did not fully do what you're supposed to do as a parent. So welcome on board, whether you have children or you don't have children. This topic really should be very important to you. And you need to know that it can help you and help somebody else out there. My name is Gladys, and I'm a very, very excited Neolife distributor. And Neolife found me as a young mother. And as a young mother, I had finished school. I had graduated as a teacher. And I was busy and ready going to go and teach children on other areas of life. And then one day, then I got into the banking industry where I worked for 5 years. And while I was at the bank, at that particular time, I remember my children were young. And as young as they were, can you believe it? We had a lot of challenges. We had a lot of health challenges. But you know, the most amazing thing is that I thought it's normal. I thought, if you have asthma, you just learn to deal with it. It's normal. If somebody is having tonsillitis, it's just one of those diseases. You learn to live with it, or you just work with the doctors to sort it out. Until one day I was introduced to a meeting like this one. I attended the meeting, and lo and behold, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me. A coin fell, and a paradigm shift happened. And I knew, can you believe it as a mother? I knew that I was contributing to my children's unhealthiness. Can you believe it? When, as a parent, when you understand that, it can be quite challenging. But the beauty is there's always time to reform. There's always time to be able to do the right thing. And I remember that meeting when I sat down for such a meeting as this, and I listened to the presenter. I picked up a few things that I needed to do as a person, and the rest is history. 20 years down the line, I thank God for that opportunity. I really, really thank God, because that has really saved a lot of money in the house, a lot of pain, both emotionally, physically. And even that time when a child is sick, it's time not well spent. So if you're on the call, you're a parent, I welcome you to share with us this information, because we are normally told, you all remember when we went to school, we were told prevention is better than cure. And it is very important to know that we can prevent some of these challenges that are affecting us. So today we talk about our bundles of joy, children. Oh, don't we love our children? We do. I don't quite imagine meeting a parent who doesn't love their children. And if they don't, then it means maybe they are sick, maybe they are going through a challenge, maybe they have, some bit of depression, and they themselves are sick. So we can't even blame them, because children are the bundles of joy. We are normally told they are the future. And I mean, you just love children for who they are. They are so innocent, they are so lovely. And they take everything that we do, most part of the years, the beginning years. And so when we talk about health, I've just put a picture there, and please think about it, look at it, and ask yourself, between those two pictures that you can see there, in the house and in the diet that we do, what is most present in all the meals more? Is it the green or the one that looks more whitish? I will not ask which one is sweeter, because definitely if we say which one is sweeter, the truth is everybody will tend, of course, everybody knows what is sweeter than the other, but we are looking at the importance of understanding what is important for us in terms of nutrition. So that picture should ring in your mind, and whenever you're feeding your children, what are you feeding more of? You need to feed more of this. Reason being, this is live food. This green part here is live food. Even if you put these two foods in a paper bag and keep it away for some days, this food will attract more of the worms and the rotting and everything. It will attract more because in it there's life, as you can see it, more than this one, which is sometimes, many times dead, sometimes overcooked. And so you need to know that that is something we need to talk about. Why are we talking about our children and diet? Is because one of the mistakes we make as mothers is to think that if we give our children junk food, which is sweeter, which is easier to prepare, which is easier to shop, we think we are loving on them. We think we are being better parents. We think we are above board. But I can tell you that is not true. For me, I thought that was true until I actually understood that junk is just exactly as the word says. We know junk is not a nice word. Clearly, junk is something not nice. It's something that needs to be thrown very far away. And yet we do give our children a lot of junk. We don't have control when it comes to their eating habits. We let their taste buds take charge of that. So we need to know that regular intake of junk food can lead to long-term health problems. What are some of those problems? Obesity. Obesity is a problem because as a child moves around with their friends, they label them, they give them names, and that in itself is not good. That in itself can actually cause a child's self-esteem and affect them into adulthood. So besides that, the way we look at it in terms of human beings, there's also the risk of health. I know a child somewhere who is really struggling with their weight, and in itself, it can cause a health challenge. And so that is something that we need to really think about. And even then, it can cause chronic illnesses later in life. You find sometimes obesity can make a child have early diseases like heart issues. We've had young people in life who've had heart attacks, who've had high blood pressure in their late teens and their early 20s. And that is not something that just begins. Or even diabetes. Diabetes is a very good follower of obesity. So you find they have diabetes and it's not even type 1. It's type 2 diabetes, and yet they are young. And that causes them a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, always in and out of hospital, some giving themselves injections, and it can even interfere with their school, you know. So we need to be very careful, even the intake. When a child has this habit of eating a lot of food, find a way to decrease that so that they have a habit of just eating enough, you know, just enough. Other things that can come is autopathy, you know. Autopathy is, it's associated with many other diseases that are out there. And it can cause disorders like asthma, eczema. And I can tell you for sure, my family is asthmatic. We've seen that in my family. And the people who don't have asthma progressing to that level, many times it's hidden even in eczema. It's an allergy that could be hidden. And I personally had, my firstborn daughter had a lot of eczema on her legs. And it caused her a lot of trouble when she was a young child, because she would scratch her eczema the whole night. And as a mother, it is very, very uncomfortable. It's very disheartening. And then you end up using a lot of creams, which have a lot of chemicals and steroids in them. Constipation. Some children have constipation, and you hear a mother saying, my child has stomach issues. They really have a lot of stomach issues. That's something we need to look into. Because I remember there's a time I had a niece who really had stomach issues. And she went to so many hospitals, so many medications. And we came to realize the biggest problem was too much milk. She just took too much milk. And luckily the parents understood that, and they withdrew it. And immediately they withdrew the milk. The child came back to normal. She's living a normal life, not taking too much medication like that. And it had cost us a lot of heartache and trouble. Addictions. If you teach your child to eat junk and a lot of starch and a lot of sweets, they get addicted to that. And getting to withdraw from that is really a hard time. And an addiction to sugars and fast foods, of course, now in itself will cause other diseases. Poor academics. Sometimes children are not doing well in school because of what the parents feed them with. And you're so hard on that child, and you could be the one contributing, especially those taking a lot of high sugar levels, could cause, and that gives you sugar crashes and poor concentration. Or they have lethargy. A child wakes up and she just stays on the couch. Mommy, fetch for me that thing. Mom, mimi nimechoka. You hear a child keep saying nimechoka. You have work to do as a parent, because you must help raise those energy levels. You can't blame them. That's the way they are feeling. Wamechoka. And depression. Depression is also a thing that is coming up in today's life, starting very early. Sleep disorders, and even hyperactivity, which can really be a challenge for children. So what are we saying? If we are talking about a plate of a child, what should we give this child? As you can see there, that plate is divided in 4. And half of it is on the grains and the proteins. The other half is fruits and vegetables. And I hear many parents say, oh, you know, my child doesn't like fruits. My child doesn't like vegetables. And you go with that. That is a lie. Because even a child will tell you, Mom, I don't like school. But you have to find a way for that child to go to school, because you know the benefit of school for that child. So even when it comes to the diet, as a mother, as a father, as a helper, as a guardian, you must find creative ways for the children to understand. In fact, you need to incorporate health talks at the dinner table, so that the children can understand why you're telling them A, B, C, D. And if that doesn't work, introduce third parties, a respected auntie or uncle, a friend, a teacher, and they'll help you. Just hammer that information to a child. And children are very good people. They listen, they understand. And when you do those things nicely, they actually will understand what you're trying to do, and they'll forever be grateful to you. The other thing is, even in school, when you go to school, what are the diets that are being given for those children? As a parent, you need to be aware, and you need to understand if that child goes to school and they're eating a lot of junk, a lot of funny juices that have many chemicals. As a parent, you have a responsibility of coming there and telling the teachers, hey, let's have a conversation around this. And you turn that upside down. If you need our help, the person who invited you can help you. Even go and do a health talk to their teacher for them to understand the risks of children taking too much of the unhealthy food. The other thing about the foods is make them interesting. Children like interesting things. So if they don't like certain vegetables, cut them in cartoon language. I mean, make them just interesting. Garnish the vegetables in something that can make it more interesting. And you find that you are speaking the language of a child. We need to speak their language, and so we are able to help. So when it comes to children, what are the healthy whole grains? This might be a tall order as a parent, but I want to tell you, it is possible. So start inputting whole wheat bread. Wholemeal, read the labels. Let it be wholemeal. It's better for the child to eat less of the slices because they are not appealing. And you give them a good spread, or you do a nice sandwich around that wholemeal so that they can appreciate it. So you need to find and read the labels. If it's rice, you can introduce brown rice at home and garnish it in a way that it looks interesting for a child. Garnish it with nice colors, nice fruits and vegetables and colors that can make it more palatable for a child, more interesting. And that goes even for things like brown chapatis, things like popcorns. Introduce popcorns. They are better off than some other snacks that we give in the household. Because popcorn is from the whole maize and it has its benefits. So when it comes to even pancakes, use the whole grain unga and make it interesting so that, you're giving them the healthy choices. And like you can see in this bowl here, look at those oats. They are garnished very well there with something interesting. And a child will be interested to be able to do that. Fruits and vegetables. Don't be this person who says, my child doesn't like vegetables. They only like fruits, or they don't like fruits, they like vegetables. You must find a balance in both of them, the fruits and the vegetables. And just like you can see, these fruits have faces. They're interesting. Why don't you make the fruits interesting? Draw cartoons in them if you have to, like the banana peel. Just make the food look interesting for a child, even the way you slice it, the way you cut it, Even the stories you give a child when you're feeding them on things that they don't like, you can give them stories that are interesting, and in the process, you find that child actually took a good sizable amount of fruits and vegetables that initially they said are not good. And remember, when it comes to fruits and vegetables, we have the carotenoids, the flavonoids, and the cruciferas. You need to make sure they are doing 3 carotenoids. Please go to Google and get to know more about carotenoids. They are the deep reds, the deep yellows, the deep greens. And those ones will protect their oily parts of the body and boost their immunity in a very big way. We have the flavonoids. The flavonoids protect the oily parts of the body, the watery parts of the body, sorry. And so, that role of the flavonoids cannot be done by the carotenoids. And then we have the cruciferas. The cruciferas take care of the hormonal parts of the body. You want a child right from birth. Their hormones, their sex organs are growing up and building in a better way. So for fruits and vegetables, get to know the mix of those 3, carotenoids, flavonoids, and cruciferas. You want more information, please talk to the person who invited you, or go and read more. If you go to Google, it will explain more. And about fruits and vegetables, this is where we keep the cancers that are attacking children away. Every person, even a small child, has potential to have cancer cells. The problem is, are you feeding the cancer cells or you're starving them and removing them out of the system? That's the work of the fruits and the vegetables. Again, they're digestive. Some children have a lot of constipation because you're giving them a lot of milk, a lot of gluten kind of foods, and they have a lot of challenges with their tummy. So, and even the weight part of it, this would be a better choice than the fatty parts, the fatty foods and the starches. When it comes to protein, the plant-based proteins are good. Teach children early in life to respect and know that plant proteins are as good as the animal proteins. So we are talking about dengu and kamande and peas and meshiri. Find a way, the nuts, you know, all those nuts you can see there. Get them plant-based proteins, and they'll be able to understand what these proteins do. Remember, plant-based proteins create an alkaline environment for the child. Gives them protein that doesn't burden their bodies too much. But when it comes to the animal proteins, I will not tell you to stay away from them entirely, because that's not right. But learn even not always to give them the eggs that are fried. Let them know that even boiled eggs have their place. Let them know that even meat needs to be eaten in moderation, not eating too much of meat because they like it. And also giving them too much milk in moderation. Everything on the animal-based protein should be done in moderation, because in it, it creates the what we call the acidic environment. But definitely the children will need the animal-based proteins. They'll need fish, they'll need chicken. Maybe a caution when it comes to things like chicken: never, ever give your children broiler chickens. I know that's a hard thing to say, but that's the way the things are. Broiler chickens, in them, they are laced, they are given hormones to grow faster. So where do those hormones land? In your children's bodies. That's why you find even girls are maturing very early, you know. Another never ever is treated meat. I know I'll sound unfair. Just leave out on the sausages and the smokies and the prawns and the, oh gosh, there are so many nyama bites. If you were to do a list, there are quite a number. Why are those treated meats not good for our children? Because they are put some things to make them stay more in the shelf, preservatives. And one of the preservatives is nitrate, and nitrate is a straight cancer causer. So when you give them those treated meats, let it be as you're giving them as a gift, or you're giving them as a once in a while, you know, that Sunday treat, you know, but it shouldn't be a daily affair. Very, very important to note there. So what are we saying? We are saying that our children need to eat healthy so that they are covered from head to toe. If your child's hair is not good, has something to do with the diet. If a child is having mashilingi, always having skin challenges, has the root cause, most probably could be, the bigger percentage could be attributed to the diet they eat. Are our children having eye problems? Yes, they have. If you go to Lions, quite a number of children have eye problems. And there's nothing as bad as taking a child for these kind of checkups, and they go through operations. It's not pleasant for a young child. And I'm not saying it's better even for a grown-up, because the reverse is true. If we eat well, we also enhance our eyes, even as grown-ups. What about the brain? Get to understand what is important for the brain food. Go to Mr. Google, ask what is good for the eyes, what is good for the brain, what is good for the hair, what's good for my child's heart, so that they have a healthy heart right from the beginning. What about teeth? What's good for my children's teeth? And a no-go zone is the candies and the cakes and the things that have a lot of sugary stuff. That sugar is industrial sugar. And a lot of what can I call them? additives and colors. All those things affect our children, affect their health and their teeth. So like the caddies, try to talk into the children and make sure they are having an alternative, which I'll be giving you right now in a while. What about the digestion? We also need to take care of that. And the skin and the bones, these are big one. Many children have weak bones right from the start because the mom didn't have enough calcium. All through, the children are not having enough of what should come for the bones and the muscles. And so that is a very important, I wish you can take a screenshot of that. And then you are able to go and find out what are the foods that are required for a child from head to toe. So when you're doing your shopping, you know what to do more of and what to reduce. And some of the things I've told you what to reduce. So now I want to give you a solution when it comes to supplementing our children's diet. Anytime our children get sick, when they go to the doctor gives them a multivitamin. They'll give them some fish oil. We are all told we need to give our children fish oil that has omega-3 and specifically the DPA and HHA for their development, for their flus, for their immunity, for their chests, for their allergies. So the omega-3s are also very, very important. So I'm going to introduce you to some supplements that can be very good for the children and very good as something to take instead of sweets, something you give them on a daily basis that will not affect their teeth and will also give them nutrition. So Neolife as an institution, I'll start with the first product, which is this one, the Vita Squares. The Vita Square is a complete vitamin and mineral support for our children. And in it, there's a product called 3NN. What does 3NN do? 3NN takes care of all the body membranes, the cells of all the body, the membrane of all the body cells for our children. Because many times we are giving them foods that are very, what can I say? They are refined. The ugali is refined, the chapati is refined, the rice is refined, the pastas are not wholemeal, they are refined. I mean, most of the things our children eat are refined. So they may be missing the germ part of the whole grain. And when they miss that germ part, it means their cells start getting compromised when they are young. And so it's very important to note that you need a multivitamin that has the 3NN grain concentrates to first ignite the body cells. Now, these Vita Squares are chewable, they are tasty, they have no preservatives, artificial preservatives, there are no artificial additives, everything about them is natural. And they have 18 vitamins and minerals. The vitamins that a child needs to grow. Why do you need to supplement for a child? It's because one, the way we are farming, all the foods we are eating may not be giving us the entire vitamins that we need from the soils. So one of the sins that we are suffering from is the sin of the farmer, farming all the time with fertilizer, never using the manure, never using the crop rotation, never doing mulching, and that in itself deprives the vitamins that we need from the diet, whether for both of us as adults or the children. So the Vita Square, we have the 3NN, and then it has all the main essential vitamins and minerals. And above that, it even has the vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important for boosting the immune system of a child. And it has things that will give a child appetite. If you have a child who doesn't eat and their development has stunted, you can tell here and there a child has stunted, you need to give them the Vita Squares. My testimony, my firstborn had very serious tonsillitis. My secondborn had very serious bronchitis. And my firstborn still had eczema. Very bad eczema as a child because she took a lot of milk. I don't know what I was thinking, but she'd cry for milk from morning to evening, and I would give lots and lots of that milk. And she had very bad eczema on her legs. And that girl could stay for a whole half a night. She's not sleeping. When I came to Neolife, my firstborn was 9 years and my second one was 3 years. I introduced them to Vita Squares. And I can tell you for sure that this product helped my children all through their primary, all through their secondary, until now they graduated to the ones for the teenagers. VitaGuard, what do VitaGuards do? They actually boost the immunity of a child. If there's something that we need to work on, is the immunity of a child, because even cancer thrives where the immunity is low. So you find that when you give them the VitaGuard, it guards them. And this is the one that has now what I told you, the carotenoids, the flavonoids. And very, very also important. And you can use it concurrently with the Vita Squares. But if you find you're in a position not to afford the two, you can start with the Vita Squares and then you come to VitaGuard. And the beauty with these two products, they are mini tablets. Like the VitaGuard has 120. If you are giving 2 a day, that's fantastic, great. Vita Squares, they are 180. If you are giving 2 to 3 a day, they last for a few months there, unless you have many children. Something else that every child needs and every pregnant lady needs, from the day you know you are pregnant to even the day you start breastfeeding, moving forward the first 1,000 days of a child and moving forward, omega-3 is very, very important. I would like you to go and read more about the benefits of omegas to children. Children who have asthmas and eczemas and allergies, omega-3 is a very good product. One, it's anti-inflammatory. It removes that inflammation that is in the body, causing some of those diseases. Number 2, it's very good for cognition, for brain development, brain signaling, recall. And the child who is born with omega-3, they are very sharp. Their eyes are as clear as white for the longest of time. They have a very good eyesight from the very, very beginning, and they are very sharp in their cognition. They even have the milestones. They are faster than their age mates in terms of the milestones. And then it's very good for the chest area. The flus that really affect babies, omega-3 is very important, such that when they are attacked by the flus and the colds, they don't really have to worry being given too much antibiotics because they can pass through that. So that is very, very important. And for many other organs, including their sex organs, omega-3 is very important for that, and their heart reconstruction of that when they are babies. So like now the children are opening school, this is the time to pump them up with the omega-3, the Vita Square, VitaGuard. By the time they are going to school, their immunity is so high. For the first week, very many children get sick. And you find that your children will go through that very well. Then we have all C for the ones who are a bit older. It's a chewable vitamin C. And as I said, you don't have to keep buying your children sweets and gummies, you know, or even give them supplements that have, they're like gummies, because they could hurt their teeth. You also want to make sure that you're giving your child products that don't hurt their teeth. When they lose their teeth early, it's a disadvantage. So vitamin C is all chewable, it's nice. And they just mumunya or they chew, and they'll be very, very excited. 1 a day, good for them as they grow. But of course, we have younger children, the ones who are below 4 years or 2 years. They can't chew, they can't swallow. You have a choice of using the Vita Square by crushing it and putting in their food. But we also have something called the Liquivite. So Liquivite is a liquid, and in it there's the Vita Squares and the VitaGuard put in it, and that becomes good for the young ones that who need something liquid. How about a good protein? Many of our children are playing games. They play football, they're always up and about, running up and about. Some are lacking appetite, some don't have enough bone mass. You can tell this child is lacking the good muscle that needs to take them to their teenage and their aging. We have a good protein drink, and instead of doing the ice creams and the other shakes that are out there, NutriShake can be a treat for them. You can do for them a NutriShake, add it to their juices, you know. If a child is refusing, you can add a little bit to the food and you give them with the food, and it will give them very good muscle. But the most important is it gives them the 22 amino acids. You know, amino acids are not easy to come by from the other proteins. They come in different bits and pieces. But with this one, it gives them a complete, the amino acids. If you have a child who has allergies, especially those with eczema and other very bad allergies and lack of appetite, NutriShake is a very, very good product for them. And it's suitable for even a child who is a few months old. You just mix it with the milk, as long as the milk is room temperature. Don't mix it with anything hot, because you denature the nutrition that is there. And then I talked about Liquivite for the small kids, which is a combination of the carotenoids, the flavonoids, and the threonine, and all the other vitamins we talked about. What about our teenagers? Our teenagers are growing. And at this point, they are choosing what to eat, what not to eat. They are becoming very choosy as well. And you know, with the young teens and adults, it becomes more difficult to actually bembeleza them like the kids. So for the teens, we have the Formula 4. Formula 4 has the threonine I talked about from wheat, rice, and soya. And now the vitamins, including iron. Iron is very important for growing children. We have salmon oil plus. I talked about salmon. We have zinc. Why zinc? Because of their brain, immunity, and above all, their skin. Most of the children, when they are growing from teenage to adulthood, their skins break. And it really keeps them uncomfortable. Zinc is a very, very good, important product for that. And of course, for them, you can do for them the Neolife Shake. It can be the NutriShake or the Neolife Shake. But in this case, Neolife Shake is better, because it's at this point, the young adults are checking on their weight, on their figures. And then the young boys have started lifting, weights. They want to have good muscle as young as they are. Neolife Shake is very, very important. What about us as parents? We don't forget, remember we've said if you're a healthy parent, your child is happy. Even when a parent is sick, the children feel sick. They actually get affected. So for us as grown-ups, you can go for the Pro Vitality. It has the threonine, it has the carotenoid I talked about, it has the omega I talked about, it has the multivitamin, all the vitamins I talked about. And it will be very good to kickstart your cells afresh. Remember, we need to renew yourselves. If you're on this call, go and read the principles of an ego. When an ego ages, and an ego can live many, many years, when it becomes old, it goes to a very high place in the rocks, where it actually removes all it plucks out, it has the best beak, it plucks out all its feathers completely. And then it beats the beak on the rock, and it stays there until it gets new feathers. And when it gets new feathers, it comes out as good as new, and it can live many more years. For you as an adult, you also need to replenish yourself. Don't cheat yourself that because you are not feeling any disease within you, okay? That's a lie. You could be harboring a lot of diseases that you need to take care of. So Pro Vitality gives you the key. And remember, this is not medicine. This is food, supplementing where we have the gap. And we have the Neolife Shake. If you have a bit of weight, Neolife Shake will sort you out in a big way. If you have allergies, if you have asthma, you have all those challenges that a person could have. If you're diabetic, the Neolife Shake will help you a great deal. And if you have even high blood pressure, you could be having cholesterol in your system and body fat. The fiber in the shake will help handle those challenges that we can see there. I could talk on and on, but what can I say? In closing, I want to give you a challenge as a parent. Why don't you try a 21 no junk challenge for your children? And you can promise them some bit of something nice, maybe money, maybe a trip, maybe an outing, so they accept. Because 21 days is when a habit is formed. No chocolate, no candy, no crackers and cookies. And this is the best time to do it during the holiday. No pastries, white bread, chips, fast food. And please, I hope you're not looking at me badly on the screen. No. Please do this for your children, and you find that you'll have a healthier child. And a healthy child is a healthy world. Can you believe that? So I'm going to invite a friend of mine, a lady I admire a big deal. I admire her a lot, the way she does her things, the way she's organized, and the way she also has even taken care of her children. I've known her since the school days. We are together as good friends to date. And Emma is going to give us her testimony, how she found, where this business found her with her children and the challenge she had and how this helped her. So take it away, Emma. Good to see you.
Thank you, Gladys. Good evening, everyone. My name is Emma Minda. I think Gladys has given us a very informative session on the children's program. I joined this business a while ago. By the way, she happens to be my sponsor, a very able sponsor, a role model and a mentor. I joined this business while I was working. I met with her and she asked me if I could do a business on part-time basis that could give me extra income because I was already working, and I got interested. Then she went on ahead to tell me that one of the products that we deal with is better than what I was selling. Before, I used to work for a pharmaceutical company. So I joined the opportunity, ready to make the money on part-time basis, and I did that. And after about 7 months, I had a director size business. That means earning over 40,000 Kenyan shillings. And that gave me an opportunity I've always looked for, that is to quit employment and take care of my children. So one of the benefits I got was able to quit my job and take care of my children full time. When I joined the business, my son was about 2 years. He had a very serious eczema, open wounds. I had been to many hospitals. It wasn't working. I started seeing dermatologists. It wasn't working. And 2 months in this business, I decided to try the children's program because it would say, I decided to take the risk. So I gave him the NutriShake, the Vita Squares, VitaGuard, Omega-3, Calmag, Herbal Respiratory, and aloe vera gel to apply on the skin. And we religiously took, and after 3 months, the eczema was gone, the allergies were gone. 18 years later, he's as good as ever. That was the first benefit. So after discovering the issue, when I was expecting my second child, I was fully on the supplements and I got a healthy baby. And you can tell the difference between the brother and the sister because having used the products, she has had no issues. We hardly go to hospital, which was a plus. So the supplements are excellent for children, as Gladys has taken you through. Then on the other side is that a friend of mine had a child who had very serious asthma. And in every month, 2 months she spent in Gertrude's, and it was really depressing. She was really getting worried about the child. She couldn't get a second one because the first one was in real trouble. When I met her, she had actually been told by her specialist she needs to try a herbalist. And she was worried at how much the liquid she'd give the child and what are the side effects. And I told her to allow me to use the products. And we put the child on the products. And within a few months, the asthma was gone. And she was very happy. And she continued using the products. And one of her favorite products was garlic allium because she could get the child off the antibiotics because antibiotics can be detrimental to your health. So she was able to get them off, and the child has been very healthy. Now he's a young man working. So the products really work. And then later, after a few years, I relocated and went out of the country. And you know, the weather can be quite harsh, especially the winters. And when you're getting from autumn to winter, that is from hot weather to cold weather, we used to have something called the winter bug, and kids will really get sick, flus, stomachache. Fortunately for I had my products, my children never went through that. Until I remember a neighbor asked me, what is it that I was doing that we never missed school while everyone was missing school? At first, she thought it's because I was Black, so she thought maybe the Black people immunity is better. But she also saw my neighbors' kids who were also Black were having the issues. So I told them about the products, and they used the product and they saw the benefits. So when you use these products, even they sell themselves. You don't have to tell everybody. People come to find out what is so good or what is it that you are doing others are not doing. So the products actually sell for themselves. I also remember my son when he was only in class 6 after getting through with the exam and he was healthy. His best friend could not play football because of asthma. And one day he just told him to go and tell his mom to call his mom so that he could buy the products. So when the lady called me, she told me she knew about Neolife, but she never trusted that she could use the product. But since a 6-year-old has recommended, she used the product. And within 2 months, she realized the son was going to school without the inhaler. So that also, my little boy helped the friend to get better. So the products are excellent. I love the products. I can go on and on giving testimonies about the many children I've been able to help. And it's easy to help the children because it's very easy to see the difference in their life. Just 2 months ago, my friend also looked for me. She asked me when I still do Neolife. And she told me the reason she was looking for me is because she saw the way I have taken good care. We have taken good care of my parents. They don't look their age because they're fully on supplements. And she had been told her 1-year-old son has weak bones on one of the leg. It was very bone. And the only remedy was to go to hospital, orthopedic hospital, to put the plaster to try to straighten the leg. So I just told her, before you could do that, why don't we try one of our products? And I put the 1-year-old on CalMag. And then within 2 months, the leg was straight. So they don't need to go that. So you can see how much you can help other people to have a better life, especially children. Most of us, the reason we are working hard, the reason we are doing businesses, the reason we are looking for extra money is to make sure that our children have good life. Now we have the opportunity to even give them good health so that they start having a good foundation and they're able to go on with their school and achieve their dreams without many issues. So it is very important to recommend to you. I'm sure everyone on the call, you know, as you have a child, and a cousin, a neighbor, many people that you can help touch their life. Then other products that can help with also taking care of our children is our home care products. Home care products are very safe. Like we have LDC, which you can use to wash your fruits and vegetables. Then your children don't get stomach infections because the fruits have many bacteria and all. You wash your utensils with them, then you're sure your utensils you're using on the children are safe. Whether you rinse them properly or not, at least they're not taking in chemicals. The other thing I love about the Neolife products, like when I was living out there, is that with your home care products, you don't need help and it's a safe environment. You have the Super 10 to clean the floors, you have the G1 to clean the clothes, so no itching on the children because the clothes are used as safe product. And then as Gladys has talked about mothers, you also have to learn to take care of yourself. Because if you're sick, then the whole home is in a lot of trouble. Unlike when other people are unwell. So I've used the products of the years, and I'm especially the skincare. It is very good. For the last almost 20 years, I've used the skincare products, very safe, marine-based, no chemicals. It doesn't interfere with the color of your skin. It just enhances your skin. It's protects your skin from harsh conditions, whether it is the hot summers, the hot winters, the harsh wind. Our skincare is very safe, and it's both for men and women. So I recommend anyone on the call to try using our skincare product too. And as I finish, as Gladys has said, we are here to make the place a healthier and happier place. So it is very important our mission as we are making money, it's good to change other people's life, especially health-wise. So recommend the products to the people, one person at a time, one family at a time, and I'm sure we'll be able to change many other people's life. And as I finish, as Gladys talked about omega-3, omega-3 is my key product. Any person on the call or anybody you know should always be on omega-3. That is a product that helps you from before you are born till you die. It is safe for everybody, good for your brain development for the little ones. It helps concentration when they go to school. And also as we age, if you don't want to suffer from the dementia and forgetfulness, that is a product that you use. And today, as we were talking about the children's program, children, we normally concentrate on the young ones, but even the young adults, it's important to use the products so that they have good health as they are going on with their careers and college education. It helps them have good energy and they're able to meet their whatever goals they want to achieve in life. So don't forget the young adults. Recommend the products to everybody, even if they are in college, like my son is in college out there. I had to make him a distributor so that he can get the products for himself. And courtesy of these products, I wasn't worried during COVID that he's away from home and I don't know how he's eating, but having given him all the products that are recommended and what the doctors recommended during the COVID period, he's been able to go through it, and we thank God for that. So I'm passionate about the products, and I'm sure most of us are here today to listen about the products. So let's go out, use the products, change one person at a time, one family at a time, and together we'll make a place a better place. Thank you, Gladys. Over to you.
Wow, thank you, Emma. That was fantastic. I've really enjoyed your talk. Fred, are you closing, or we can wrap it up? Okay. So what we are going to...
Gladys, you can wrap it up. That's okay. Just go ahead.
You. Well, thank you so much, guys. We don't take it for granted that you actually joined us. We thank you for coming, for listening. And don't just listen. Be a person who does. You know, remember when we were in school, we were told there's a doing adjective, or is it adverb? Go and touch other people. When you meet your sisters, your cousins, they are feeding their children with the wrong foods, please talk to them about it and organize a health talk like this one from the person who invited you. If somebody invited you, I can see George Peter has raised his hand. Please, if you invited George Peter, you can actually talk to him. George, the person who invited you, if you have a query, please talk to them and they'll be able to get back to you. So we are sending you as ambassadors of this message. Let's feed our children and ourselves right, and we are going to thank God for that. So thank you very much. God bless you, and thanks for coming. Galaxy A12,